Mountain Organic Natural Ice Melter is a unique product in the marketplace today. It is a fertilizer-based de-icer, specifically designed to powerfully melt ice and yet be safe on the surfaces it is used upon, safe on the surrounding vegetation, the ecosystems, and the soil structure, and even safe on the people that use it. Let us look at some of the benefits and features of this product and how it can actually save your organization money while protecting our environment at the same time. Mountain Organic Natural Ice Melter is a unique product made by taking the pure potassium from the earth and blending it with the impure potassium byproducts that come from the potash mining process. Potassium, as we all know, is a major ingredient in fertilizer, and it's used all over the world today. So what we end up with at the end of our manufacturing process is a product that is quite powerful and yet environmentally friendly, safe, and effective. Mountain Organic has been third-party lab tested with results showing that it melts ice down to temperatures as low as minus 23 degrees Celsius or minus 9 degrees Fahrenheit. This basically means that Mountain Organic will work in most places within North America. It is important to keep in mind that wind chill does not affect inanimate objects, like ice melters or perhaps the wax you put on your skis. So if the weather forecasters outside say, bundle up, it is 0 degrees outside, but with the wind chill, it'll feel like minus 10, that is only the temperature that it's going to feel like on your skin. Mountain Organic will in fact melt to lower temperatures than rock salt and many other ice melter blends. Rock salt typically ceases to work at minus 12 degrees Celsius or plus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. There are other de-icers on the market that will go down to lower temperatures. What helps these products go to lower temperatures, however, is the addition of various toxic chemicals. So Mountain Organic will do the job well and yet be safe. Mountain Organic begins working immediately upon applying the product to the ice. It actually burrows little holes into the ice down to the surface, whereupon it works at breaking the bond between the ice and that surface, and then works at melting the ice away. Mountain Organic actually attacks the molecules that form the ice in the first place and continues to work even in its dissolved state. It should be noted that our product is not like calcium chloride, which works on the principle of heat. Calcium chloride heats up to melt the ice, but unfortunately cools down very quickly as well. Hopefully it has done its job during that time, or else you need to apply more calcium chloride. Mountain Organic is much longer lasting. Because Mountain Organic continues to work even in its dissolved state, it keeps the ice melted longer than other ice melters on the market. Eventually, Mountain will become so diluted that it will not continue to keep the ice melted and refreezing may occur. Usually, though, by this time, that melted ice, or water, has run off the surface or evaporated. Mountain Organic is a consistent granular product which spreads effectively, efficiently, and evenly through any means of product distribution, i.e. a spreader, making the product easier and more economical to use. The usage requirement for Mountain Organic is 1/4 to 1/2 cup per square yard, or 50 to 100 grams per square meter. This usage requirement is like half the amount of calcium chloride required to melt the same amount of ice. So there can actually be significant savings to the end user. Mountain Organic is totally safe on concrete. Now, we're not concrete experts. We rely very heavily on the research that's been done by the 2 leading concrete agencies in North America, the American Concrete Institute and the Portland Cement Association. They set the standards for how concrete is to be constructed for bridges, towers, structures, roads, etc. Both agencies have employed a number of engineers to specifically study the effects of ice melter on concrete. They concluded that a number of chemicals are harmful and can actually attack your concrete. We can certainly provide you with a list of these harmful chemicals, none of which are found in Mountain Organic Natural Ice Melter. It is important to note that one of the most harmful chemicals is magnesium chloride, also known as MAG, which can be found in many ice melters in the marketplace today, so please be wary. According to the American Concrete Institute, magnesium chloride is not safe on concrete and will actually pit the concrete, that is to say, pit the surface of the concrete. In fact, some DOT, Department of Transport, or highways departments have stopped using magnesium chloride because of all the damage it has been doing to the concrete roads. Another major concern regarding concrete is what is known as this chipping and spalling, which is caused by the freeze-thaw cycle. Concrete is very much like a sponge, full of little air pockets. When the ice on the concrete melts, it actually fills up all those air pockets with water, melted ice. And of course, when that water which is soaked up in the concrete goes to refreeze, it actually expands, causing a pressure buildup on the concrete. Over time, this freeze-thaw, or expanding and contracting cycle, weakens the concrete and causes chipping and spalling of your concrete. Now, unlike calcium chloride, Mountain Organic continues to work even in its dissolved state, thereby extending the freeze-thaw cycle and allowing more water to run off or evaporate from the surface. This actually helps reduce the risk of this freeze-thaw damage. And finally, it is good to know there are no dyes that are used in Mountain Organic. The product is kept in its pure and natural color. Mountain Organic is naturally a beige color, so it can easily be seen when applied. There is no risk of staining your concrete, your shoes, or even damaging your flooring, which some dyes may cause. For those looking for more information specifically regarding concrete, I would recommend visiting our website at www.zenith.com. Mountain Organic is totally safe on vegetation. Mountain Organic is a fertilizer-based product with potassium as its major component. And since potassium is a required nutrient for plant life, Mountain Organic will actually benefit your plants and shrubs. In fact, studies have been shown that the potassium will actually help to repair soil damage caused by the overuse of rock salt products. Many institutions have switched to Mountain Organic because they wanted to protect their large investments in their landscaping. The rock salt they were using before was damaging their landscaping, causing them to replace many plants each year. Switching to Mountain Organic was a real cost savings to them. Rock salt, as mentioned, is very harmful to vegetation due to the fact that it promotes unnaturally high pH values that lead to micronutrient deficiencies. Salt is not only harmful to plant life, but also to the very soil that sustains life. It reduces the soil permeability to air and water, and then makes the soil hard and clotty. This basically starves the plants of their required nutrients. Mountain Organic is very safe on groundwater and ecosystems, thereby being environmentally friendly, whereas rock salt can easily damage water systems. A good example of this was a small community south of Toronto that had to seek out a new water system as their current water system was damaged by excessive use of rock salts on the roads. And finally, calcium chloride is also toxic to plants, and like rock salt, is not a required nutrient. Mountain Organic is totally safe to handle. Our MSDS, available from our website, states, gloves are optional. Calcium chloride, on the other hand, will actually burn your skin when it comes in contact. This is important if the product is to be used around children in, say, a schoolyard, where they may be playing, making a snowball. If calcium chloride or a calcium chloride blend has been used to melt the ice, the children will actually burn their hands. Magnesium chloride also needs to be handled with care. Magnesium chloride is more hygroscopic than calcium chloride. Therefore, it attracts moisture from the skin. Gloves are a must for handling. Mountain Organic, totally safe for use around children and pets. With respect to animals, it will not hurt sensitive areas such as the noses or the paws. And unlike other ice melters, Mountain Organic is safe even when ingested by animals. Mountain Organic is so safe that in fact it's WHMIS exempt in Canada and OSHA exempt in the United States. One of the big selling features of Mountain Organic is that it's totally clean to use. Mountain Organic does not leave behind any residue. It reduces to a colorless, odorless liquid. Rock salt, on the other hand, leaves behind a white, messy residue. Calcium chloride, even worse. It leaves behind an oily residue. When tracked into buildings, this oily residue causes damage to carpeting and creates a serious slip hazard on smooth tile, marble, or linoleum floors. Mountain Organic is totally clean and safe to use. It will not damage flooring, and if people's shoes happen to be wet and pick up some granules from outside on their way into a building, they can simply be vacuumed or swept away without any damage to the flooring or carpet. Many school boards, in fact, have switched over to Mountain Organic, requested it by name on their request for bids. They have found that there was a real savings to be had by the reduced maintenance costs associated with Mountain. they could actually re-employ their maintenance staff to do other things rather than always mopping up the floor from the ice melter being tracked in when they switched over to Mountain. Mountain Organic is safe for prolonged storage. It is hygroscopic and therefore has an unlimited shelf life. Even when exposed to humidity in an uncontrolled warehouse environment, it does not clump up or solidify. Rock salt, on the other hand, clumps when exposed to humidity and becomes a nuisance when it has to be used in a spreader. These clumps have to be smashed into bits before spreading is possible. Calcium chloride, when exposed to moisture, has been known to turn into a solid block, rendering the product completely useless. Magnesium chloride, in fact, when it is exposed to moisture, it actually turns into like a slimy liquid, making the product totally also useless. Mountain Organic arrives at your doorstep in a completely sealed pallet, capped with a vapor barrier. The pallets are also shrink-wrapped from top to bottom with heavy-duty poly. Our customers attribute this excellent pallet packaging to the fact that our stock always arrives in excellent condition. If a pallet should sit for over a season, you can simply remove the shrink wrap and the packaging will have remained in pristine condition, ready for sale and use at a future date. Mountain Organic does not require any special storage facilities. We are very concerned about the environment, so Mountain Organic is packaged with recycled, environmentally friendly materials. All our poly and boxes contain post-consumer waste, and both our bags and boxes are recyclable where facilities exist. Mountain Organic is available in a variety of packaging options, including everything from bags, jugs, pouches, boxes, pails, and even totes. All our sizes are bilingual, English and French, and UPC barcoded. Our poly bag stock is ever popular because the pallets can be multi-stacked without a racking system at the warehouse. We use thick poly bags to ensure no damages. In fact, some of our customers even stack pallets as many as 4 high on top of one another to maximize warehouse space. For quality control purposes, all product is encoded with a batch lot number as well. So at the end of the day, why buy Mountain Organic Natural Ice Melter? Well, here are a few key points to remember. Mountain Organic is a premium green product that is powerful and effective. It's requested by name by many institutions across the country. Mountain Organic is truly safe on the environment. It's safe on the plants, shrubs, safe on the concrete, and safe on groundwater systems. The product is unique. There is no other product like Mountain in the marketplace. Now, some products claim to be green, but only end up adding a very small percentage of something eco-friendly to their rock salt products. Mountain, on the other hand, is totally green and totally safe on the environment. In fact, actually beneficial to the environment. There's an old saying, pay now or pay later. You can save money by using a cheap rock salt product, but you will certainly pay more in the long run when you have to go to pay for all the damage it's done. It's far more cost effective to pay a little more upfront and use a better product like Mountain Organic. At the end of the day, proof is in the usage. People that try Mountain Organic do not want to switch to anything else. It works safely and effectively. And remember, for more information on Mountain Organic, visit our website, www.zynyth.com.